This is the MotorCity Crowns Podcast, and welcome to Season 2. As you can see, we're here on video, and I plan to do that from here on out. Last season was filled with a ton of amazing guests, and this season will be no different. As I introduce my first guest today of this season, Shane T. He's a DJ, a dancer, a producer, and a few other things. But before we get to that, let's roll the intro. This is the MotorCity Crowns Podcast, where passion reigns and excellence is crowned. I got my own brand. So Shane, thank you for coming out. I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, oh man.
So as I was saying, you are a dancer, a DJ, a producer, and you've told me over the phone that you're in the cannabis industry and you're getting back into it. Let's talk about the dancing part of this.
All right.
How did you get into dancing, and how does that like affect your life?
So probably a long time ago, I used to watch music videos. Like MC Hammer, Michael Jackson, and I would try to emulate them. That was like my first broadness into just watching people dance, and I wanted to do it. My dad, he was also a dancer. He was a breaker back in the day, and he tried to get his big break doing this thing. But as he had kids, he would show me the way.
Right.
Things here and there, but really watching those videos and just getting out there, and I was always a lively kid, so I would do these things in public, and I'd be embarrassed of my family, but I didn't care. I like doing these things, and even to this day, I'll still dance in public wherever I'm at,
Right.
You know?
So your dad got into dancing when he was young?
Yeah.
And you guys, did he grow up around here?
He grew up in Inkster.
In Inkster? Okay.
And then I went to Inkster High. He had like a crew of people that he used to break with and stuff like that. And he had an audition chance to go out in New York to do a music video with Biz Markie. So it was like way back in the starting of hip hop. And my grandma unfortunately did not let him go. So I think he just kind of held on to that sort of deal, and he kind of pushed that onto me, but I didn't let that get to me. So I kept going with it, and now I'm still dancing today.
Hey, that's a message to all parents. Like, let your kids go and do something to follow their dreams, even if it's small. You know, go ahead and try.
100%.
That's pretty cool. So now that you're older and you're dancing, how did you find the groups or the path to continue this?
So in high school, it was really like a street dancing sort of deal. So I had my own style, watch things like You Got Served, those movies at that time, Stomp the Yard, and I would find other friends that would have those same interests. So they'd be kind of doing the same type of dancing, pop locking, gliding, some breaking here and there. And that was probably my first dance group. It was in high school. We call ourselves Momentum Crew. Momentum Dance Crew.
Okay.
And we had like a nice fan base at the school too. So every talent show we would do, people go crazy. We go to birthday parties and perform, stuff like that. And from there, that was like my first dance crew experience, and just dancing with other people.
Right.
And then coming out of high school, I got a little more serious with the break dance and breaking. And there was a crew called Vertical Ambition. They were from Flint, but they lived in Ipsy at the time. So I would go over there and we practiced a lot. And we did a lot of church shows, a lot of community shows, stuff like that. And that's how I brought in my like breaking career. And how I got into those types of dance moves. And then a few years went by through that, and driving to Flint 2-3 times a year or a week was a lot, on the car. And,
definitely.
On my mental, it was like 2 to 3 hours out of the day just in travel. So I had to find something a little closer. So I was going with my friend Martha Cazada, to Clark Park, and that's where we would practice on the tennis court. And we would practice there, and that's where I met Mav, actually. Yeah, and that's really how that whole breaking started in Southwest. Is he was just leaving his crew, like Motor City Rockers. That was his past crew. And he was just practicing there by himself with a couple of his crewmates that were kind of just still in it, and me and Martha as well. So we're all just like getting to know each other, and we didn't really necessarily create a crew, but that was just like our group of people we started just hanging out with and building with, and we would go to dance studios because we didn't have a studio yet to teach kids and do these classes and community stuff. Go to Patton Park and just different parks around the neighborhood to show kids like there's other things out here that you can do.
I love the fact that you've went from learning yourself to practicing it, and then you just morphed into teaching.
Oh yeah,
and it's a cool thing that when people have a hobby and they love it so much, they want to share it and spread it, especially to kids that are in an area that might be getting into trouble. So it's like, here, you can do this instead of going and do that.
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely effective. Like if I could, when I was a kid, I wish I could have had all these things. So like that's something I try to provide. Even one of my like youngest apprentices, kind of like proteges, he's a DJ, and he was really into some dark things before he met me, and I taught him how to DJ. He now makes beats. His name is Edwin, or he goes by Produced by Dreezy on Instagram. But he's came a long way from just having he would even say it himself, having some anger
I think I know who that is, actually.
Yeah, he used to be a real rough kid, and then just showing him music, showing him different things, showing them that he can make a living off of these things that he enjoys doing. He's changed himself a lot. So it's really cool exposing these kids to something different, that they don't have to resort to whatever they see on the streets or whatever their friends are doing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's got to feel pretty good to be a part of that change, too.
It is cool. It is dope. Yeah.
So you were talking about Mav and his crew, and he is at MCSDA.
Yep.
And I've interviewed him before. So how does that feel to be a part of what he does and what he's set up? And you said about teaching, and I know you're teaching dance there as well.
Yeah, so I teach dance and DJing.
DJing, okay.
Yeah. But as a whole, it feels amazing because I was there from the start, from the ground up, when we didn't have any grants, any funds. We were, going under pavilions trying to collect money so we can throw a jam or an event, so people can come to the event, so we can just spread more awareness. So it's really cool seeing it from the ground and then coming up here to being on the news multiple times, spreading it out, going to multiple festivals, sharing who we are and our skills and our talents, and
absolutely,
it's a really beautiful thing to see how it blossomed from being in Clark Park to now where it's at today.
Yeah. So it seems to be a common theme throughout everything that you do is creativity and energy.
Yes.
How do you manage to inject creativity in everything you do and keep that energy alive?
Yeah. My biggest thing about living for me is fun. Like if I'm not having fun doing it, it could be anything. I'm not gonna enjoy it. So I have to. I don't have to do anything. I'm just putting myself in there, really. Like putting myself in with no any extra side talk or for anything. Like I don't let any outside forces dictate how I want to feel wherever I'm at. So people could. I always liven the room up. People say when I come into a space. So I
felt the way when you came in here.
Yeah. I like that. You want to hear? We'll pick
no, that's all right, man. I'm good.
Yeah,
shit's gonna happen.
But it's an energy thing. So
that's the energy.
Yeah. So I'm big on that. Like just really being myself, and everyone else too. So I like to show that I'm myself, and it's okay for you to be yourself as well.
Absolutely.
Let's all be comfortable in our own skin, and that's how we really grow and learn from each other.
Yes. So in life, there's a lot of times where you feel like you might not have something going for you, and rarely do you get a second chance.
Yeah.
So you seem to have gotten a second chance after such a bad accident that you went through.
Definitely.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Actually, yeah, I would say this is my second chance.
Really?
Actually, yeah, because before that, in 2019, I had a near-death also experience that really changed my life and made me think about, like, what am I doing right now? Like, why am I... Can I cuss on here?
Go ahead, man.
Okay, man. I was really, like, on some bullshit, really. Pre-2019, I was just kind of in the motion of doing things. I would go party and do these things. I'm hanging out with people just to hang out with them, but no, like, vision or anything in the end. No, nothing in mind. So
right.
When that thing had happened, literally, it was on my birthday weekend too, so it was really like, it shook me up a lot. And I was like, bro, what am I gonna do in these next 5, 10, 20 years that's gonna keep me thriving? Like, how am I gonna, I could keep working for these different companies and just be down in the dumps and being like, oh, I know I could do something for myself, or actually do something for myself.
Yes.
So I took the time and I laid low for like a couple years, just really grinding, selling things that I didn't need in the house, and just getting rid of habits that I didn't need anymore, talking to, or involving myself with people that weren't going to help and propel my future that I wanted to live, And then the second one, after getting hit by a motorcycle, because I had started a brand and a company, essentially all these things during COVID to survive. And after the motorcycle, I was like, I'm moving so fast, I'm making a lot of money, I'm doing all these things, but am I living? I'm surviving, that's awesome, but what am I doing to live? And in that, I got hit by a minivan on my motorcycle, and I was like, dude, I'm kind of moving too fast now. Like, I'm just moving to move. Sure, I'm living, I'm making money and stuff, but what am I doing to actually enjoy myself in life? Like, and then after that, I started thinking about how grateful I was to have legs, because when I was a kid, I used to skateboard, dance, ride bike, all these things that I do now in like big form, I used to do them as a kid, and it just made me realize, and I was like, dude, I can't let these things go, and I almost lost all of it because of somebody else's mistake, very very appreciative in those things. Like, when you get a second chance, you have to be grateful for what you got. Like, this,
absolutely,
you got one of these bodies in this physical form at least, so like, why not use it while you're here?
Yes, yes, it's very important. So I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those situations are scary. I've never had anything to that extent. Like, I've been in a couple bad accidents, car accidents. Nothing was to that level where I was injured or anything. But I've had the feeling like, oh man, shit's gonna go this way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. That's good that you're stronger now, and you got that vision of, I know what I want to do. I know how I want to go about it. Yeah. And I'm gonna do things in more fun ways and appreciate it.
Yes.
And that's important.
A lot of gratitude for sure.
So, when did you get into the JIT style of dance?
Literally a year and a month ago.
Really?
Wow. I know it sounds crazy. People think I've been gym for years. Yeah. But actually, I DJ'd a competition last year for 313 Day. It was called the Snipes Breaking versus Jitting competition, and I was DJing it, and I've been watching people jit for so long. I've been friends with Queen Gabby, Strings, like all the OGs in the game who started this dance, and I've just been watching from the sidelines for so long. And after that day, I was like, I'm done. I need to learn this. It's a native Detroit dance.
Yes.
I'm a dancer. Like, why don't I know this dance? So I just dove.
It's been around for a while now. Was it like 50 some years, 60 maybe?
Yeah, it's been around since the early 70s. So about 50 years. Yeah. So I just dove deep into it. I found classes. I was just hitting up all the jitters like, hey man, when are you free? Like, I want to learn something. And a year later, I'm doing performances with the Jit Masters.
Wow, they really like what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They love it. I add the energy to the team. That's what they say.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
Yep. So, it's a really cool experience. Like, I never would have thought I'm making money off of these performances, too. That's
awesome.
Like, I'm living
that's really cool.
Through the dance. Like I said earlier, just going for my dreams. You know what I mean? Doing what I wanted to do ever since I was a kid. It's wild.
So that the group is Jit Masters, correct?
Yes.
And they just opened up a new location, didn't they?
Yep, at the Northwestern Activity Center. Yeah. Okay. I just taught my first adult DJ and kids DJ class there.
Oh, so you're also teaching DJ with them as well. Okay. Yeah. How did that feel to be a part of what they're doing and opening up more locations to further educate the youth or even adults to learn new things?
Yeah, I love that they welcomed me into that family, that, because it's essentially very much like MotorCity Street Dance Academy, but with the JIT culture. So MCSDA is like breaking and hip hop culture, where JIT Masters is the JIT culture, and then the beat side of that, and there's a lot of more community-based stuff. So as far as like the kids, like kids watching dance today, there's a lot of TikTok fancy stuff.
Yeah.
But they still gravitate towards the JIT because it's very fancy, it's big, it's fast,
Yeah.
it's quick. So being able to go to these communities and we'll do like a showcase, and a lot of kids like are gravitated towards it and open it up. And the way Mike teaches his JIT, he can teach it to kids very fast. That's how I learned very fast, because I was like, if he could teach kids and they can learn, why can't I do
I'm gonna have to jump in the class.
Dude, you gotta.
I see it and I'm like, not that I can do it. It don't look easy, but it looks like my type of energy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? A little, not maybe unassuming, or like, you don't know what's coming next.
Yeah, it's much more approachable for a beginner. That's what I will say from a class standpoint, because I've taken classes from multiple different jitters. That is a good intro point into it, and then depending on your skill level, then you can go up from there.
Is that the right terminology, jitter?
Yes. Yep,
that's pretty cool, actually.
Yep. And that actually comes from a group called the Jitter Bugs.
I figured it was something like that.
Way back in the day, and I believe they're from Belleville. And they did a lot of the funketeering, funk dances, but they created a lot of those original JIT moves, the jitterbugs.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And it's all Michigan history. Like, all of this is here. Like,
there's so much history here in the city.
Like, this is all here.
We got Motown.
Yeah.
We got all these great singers and producers and rappers and all that, and then we have the dance scene, which is huge, and then you got the techno scene, you know. So everything that comes from the city is very influential on so many parts of the industry.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like, to go back to the Gym Masters and expansion, I'm really happy. Like, we have another location, because that's a place where another area of kids can come and see us where they otherwise might not have come to. You know, some kids can't come to the west side, so now we have a location closer to the east side. So, and then the more it just kind of grows, we'll be moving around, and we can do remote spots even, stuff like that.
Right. So let's go back to you were talking about biking and skateboarding and all that. And you've kind of created a new movement of getting back into bike rides.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, there's a lot of them that are around the city, and like they got the slow rolls going back again, and you've had your own. Tell me about that. I can see that there's a bit more youth that are in there.
Definitely,
than a few other different rides.
So I've been a part of the MotorCity bike life for about like 3 years now. And then when I started, it was a fairly decent group. A lot of people phased in and out ever since then, but it was a way for me to actually rehab my legs after my accident.
Okay.
Yeah, because my insurance, there was something going on with the case insurance where I couldn't get physical therapy. So aside of my just walking through the house every day, trying to walk around the block, I needed something to get my legs going,
get them strong again.
Yeah. So I'm a very fun person, so I was like, let me get a cool bike, So I was looking up these cool bikes on YouTube and what people were doing. And I seen this old dude wheeling on YouTube. Like, he had to be pushing 70.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, bro, hold up. Same thing with the kids. If you could teach kids, they can do it. I was like, if he can do it, I can do it too.
Oh, so you hadn't even done a wheelie back when you
never.
were young.
When I was a kid, I had never wheelied because I had fallen and busted my head. And that's what made me quit bike riding.
Right.
And it's funny, and then I fall on a motorcycle, and that's what gets me back into bikes.
Got hurt.
Yeah.
Get back on a bike, even though I was scared to do that. You get hurt.
Yeah. But the movement of it was, it's like I said, I'm a very lively person. So a lot of the kids, they're already good at it. They're doing wheelies, like outdoing it, me in these things.
Yeah.
I'm just a newbie in the game, a few years ago. But it was something about the energy. They're like, man, we just love riding with Shane, And I was always putting things together before that with my brand and doing events and stuff like that. So I was just like, why don't we, do some events? I'd always bring water, fruit snacks, and like soccer mom stuff, but for the bike rides. And the kids, they love that stuff.
Yeah, they do.
But a couple of the other people, older folks, they had some problems with it. So I was just like, whatever. So I kind of like distanced myself a little bit, and I did my own thing with Southwest Rides, which is a bike shop at UNI. And I did that a couple of years ago. That was really cool. I had the neighborhood there. We kind of created an awesome little bike scene there. And then I've just been kind of moving around since then because I've been really busy with dancing and DJing. So I try to get to it when I can. I ride my bike probably every other week.
I try to do maybe once a week.
Yeah,
I'm going in the morning, Father's Day ride.
Yeah, there you go.
Me and my brother-in-law, we're probably gonna ride maybe 15 miles around the city.
Hey, that's a lot. That's good miles. Yeah, especially if you ain't riding in a minute. That's a lot of miles.
Oh yeah, man. My legs feel like weak, so I got to get them back into shape.
Yeah.
Might be my strongest part of my body now.
Hey, that's a good thing, man.
It is.
These things carry you everywhere.
They do. So you were telling me how you've worked with Snipes.
Yes.
And you've worked with some other major brands. And you performed all over in some notable venues. Is there ever some pressure to change yourself or your approach to working with those brands or at these venues?
No, not at all, actually. In my younger years, yes, I would think that a lot because I'm trying to be presentable. I was trying to learn the ways, but the more I've done these things, they love who I am as a person. So even thinking about changing my name, like Shane Trees, to be more suitable for public, and stuff like that. Because when people think of my name, they'll either think of weed or trees outside or person of growth. Like all those things are true. You know? And
but they can have some negative connotation.
Yeah, it can have negative connotation. But I've learned that just being me and just going through with it, putting that out there, the right people are going to be around you, and those ones are going to support you. So when it comes to these big companies and stuff, I don't change myself because I've learned how to be. I've done a lot of customer service though, so I learned to be courteous, how to be a people person, how to relate with other people, and also be professional and still be myself at the same time.
Good. So anybody listening, make sure to be yourself because you can still get opportunities thrown your way. Because that's probably why they chose you in the first place.
Yes.
Because they liked who you were.
Yeah.
And you kept your mindset.
Yeah. Even to go back on that, last year I DJ'd a Juneteenth jam. In Grand Rapids, and they had my name, Shane Trees, boom, big, like on this thing, and I was just like, that is really cool. And this year they got me back hosting. And
that's awesome.
So I was just really stick to being yourself. It doesn't matter like what other people think. Just do you, man.
Yes. So like before you got there, were you worried, like kind of like?
I don't know. A lot of people, they'll like take the trees off my name or just put T. And I'm cool with that too. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But it's just cool that like they were supporting me fully out. You know what I mean?
It's not like it's the F word.
Exactly. I'm like, dude, trees have been alive way before me.
Trees were here before us.
And that's what I always think too. Like even when I'm gone, I'm always gonna be around.
Right.
My spirit's always gonna be here, and that's really the real meaning of the trees.
Yes, that's true. So, talking about trees, let's talk about how you've got into the cannabis industry and what all that you do.
Okay, yeah. So it actually started. I actually smoked my first joint when I was 22. I'm 20 or I'm 34 now almost.
Okay.
But 22, right before I went to college, and that's where I actually got hooked on it in college, because college was pretty stressful. I went to Full Sail University.
That's where a lot of people get hooked on it.
Yeah. And, I had some friends, and we would always put a couple fives together and, get some weed. But it was after college where I actually learned how to grow. So when I would come back for college from my break, that the same uncle where I learned how to DJ from, he was actually growing. And this is who I learned how to grow from. This is who I found out about weed, music, really everything. He's really one of my biggest inspirations in life.
It's always an uncle.
Yeah, definitely. Coolest uncle too. Oh yeah, Uncle Yo. Yeah, shout out to you. And I came back from a Christmas break from school. It was my last break, and it was at my grandma's house. And I went up into his room where he had it used to be a DJ setup. And my brother was like, "Hey man, come here. You smell this?" And I was like, "What? Smell what?" And he opens the door. I was like, "Yo!" And then he opens this tent, and there was so many it was the most weed I'd ever seen at that point in my life.
Wow!
And I was just like, "This is crazy." It was like 4 plants, but
look at all this.
Like, holy moly! Like this will last me all year. And I was just like amazed, and I went back to school thinking like, dude, this is crazy. My uncle's grows. Like I remember being scared, like, dang, I can't smoke weed when I get back home. Like it's gonna suck. And then come to find out, my own family grows, and
oh wow,
yeah, it was really dope. So I came back.
It's all secret.
Yeah, and I came back. I was doing like a lot of audio work because I came from Full Sail with the audio degree. So I was trying to get those type of jobs. So I was doing that, and it wasn't really fulfilling. Like a lot of the stuff was like like building the cables, desk work type of stuff. Nothing to really propel my career forward that I wanted to do, like I'm doing now. So I would, after work, I would go help my uncle because I'm like, I want to smoke and I'm sure he needs some help too. And that's where I actually learned how to grow. So I was shadowing him for about 3 years before I even got my own house. And then after working for this audio company that I'm talking about, I stacked up some money and I got my first crib for like super cheap. Like super duper cheap. I can't believe it. Looking back on it.
Oh yeah, the way the market is now.
Yeah, the way the market is now. Yeah, but and then I started I got a credit card and I started buying my first equipment, and he helped me out with a lot of equipment and nutrients too, so I could get started. And when I first started growing, my grandma was actually in the phase of stage 4 cancer. So half of my crop we were growing was growing for her medicine. So she can have an easier transition on to the next.
Right.
But that was really the start of it. And after that, it was kind of like my own business sort of deal. I didn't have a name for the business. I was just growing. I had friends that knew that I grew, and I had some clientele, but I didn't have a brand at the time. And it was that first near-death experience where I was like, dude, what am I doing with this? I'm growing, I'm out partying, I'm doing these things, I'm hanging out with people that don't care about my future. Like, what am I doing with this? And so I really started to take the time to learn about myself and to be my best self, that's where the name Higher Learning Company comes from. Because I was trying to learn about my highest self and what's the best version of Shane look like? Like, who does that look like? And at the time, it was a man of business, somebody that took care of business, got things done, was really just on his game. Really, I was getting my debt paid off at the time because I had $12K in debt. So I was like just straightening my life back up with this business. And through that, I've done some different ventures, and I kind of slowed down on the weed stuff just because it was like really fast paced at the time. And now I'm just balancing that and music and dance. It's like I'm coming to a nice like harmonic balance in my life where I can like handle everything, and I'm not moving too fast or too slow, but I can still be creative and dive into the ventures I want.
That's always important, having that balance.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to creativity.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's so many dispensaries here in Metro Detroit now. Like, it seems like they're overtaken.
Oh yeah.
Everything. You see all these billboards that mark Savaya.
Yeah.
There's one downtown. There's one on the east side.
Yeah.
I was like, who is this? Everyone's saying it's the new Jumana billboard.
It is.
And I've seen 10 of them.
Yeah.
It's on buses and everything.
That's a budget for sure.
Yeah. So how does your brand fit into the cannabis industry?
So my brand actually, it actually does not fit in with the Michigan cannabis industry at all.
Okay.
I grow organic.
Okay.
So meaning that in these warehouses where they grow for these dispensaries, they're using synthetic nutrients, essentially like fake food. So when you go to like McDonald's, how they make that food, that's how they're making this weed. What is it? Things that they spray on so there's no bugs or things or extra additives, so that it seems like there's more
like a preservative kind of thing.
Yeah, things that are like extra things, and that's what you're smoking. That's what you're getting high off of, and a lot of people aren't realizing that. And there's actually been a wave of people that have been stopping smoking, quitting smoking, because they're like, oh, this doesn't make me feel good, or these side effects, and it's all these things they're spraying on the plant. And the weed's dirt cheap. I get it. You can get weed you can get an ounce for like $50 nowadays. That's crazy. But
yeah, I guess
you don't want to smoke that stuff, because it's actually doing more harm than help. And what I'm doing is I was growing for my grandma. It had to be the cleanest product. It had to be something that was going to actually help her, not harm her.
So you cared more about doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing, and I enjoy it. It tastes better.
Yeah.
It's a clean high. I'm not worried about any side effects, the extra things. I'm not worried about other health risks down the line, because I'm ingesting some like synthetic poison.
Right.
It's not natural. So I try to do everything as natural as possible, organically. And that's where I really separate myself from the Michigan cannabis industry. And a lot of people know, like, that they really appreciate cannabis or appreciate their bodies. That's my crowd of people.
I remember I don't smoke very often, like maybe once or twice a year. And I remember a couple years ago, I took my girlfriend to Grand Rapids and took her to go get a massage one morning. And I was like, what am I going to do for an hour and a half whenever she's doing this?
Yeah.
There was a dispensary, and I'm like, I'm going to go buy some weed. I was like, I've never been in a dispensary. I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know, this is a nice little setup shop. Like, okay, this is very appeasing to the eye.
They look cool.
But it is a little intimidating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I kind of get what you're saying with the way it makes you feel. Like, I remember I smoked, I don't know, 15 years ago at one point, and, well, many times back then. But, it got me real paranoid.
Yeah.
And that got me to stop. And I was like, I don't want to feel like that again.
Yeah.
I kind of felt similar when I smoked this stuff. And I was like, I don't really like this that much. I was like, but is this the way weed's supposed to feel now? Because it's been so long, you know?
Man, like people are so used to that weed feeling and this weed smell and taste that is not a characteristic of the actual plant. And man, I wish I could have had some here and that you could like taste it through the camera, so you can see the difference. It's like a very vast difference in the feel, taste, everything. You know.
I mean, I did have more organic, natural stuff later on, and I was like, okay, this is a lot better. I do, but it was that was the first time having a dispensary one, and I knew as soon as they made that shit legal, I was like, there's gonna be something going on with it.
I didn't want it to be
because they got to make it mass produced, and it's got people gonna make money. When it comes to money, making a profit, the state got to make a profit, and these people got to make a profit. There's gonna be cutting corners somehow.
So it's like LA now, unfortunately, and they called that years ago. Like all the real growers, kind of people that really care about the plants, like they didn't want it to be legalized because we knew this was going to happen. Right.
But there's still many people that are growing it on their own that are being pretty successful.
Just like me, doing their own things. Like we still believe in our product, you know. And there were many times I almost did give up because of the climate of the industry.
Because it's putting pressure on you.
Yeah, but in that aspect, I can't go to the dispensary and smoke because I don't believe in that product.
Right.
So
you don't want to have your own. No, you don't want to sell what you don't believe in.
Exactly, 100%.
So, I want to congratulate you on a big life milestone you just went through this past year. Yeah. You got married.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. I love my goal, so it really set it off. Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
How does that feel now? Is it something? Is it a completely different feeling?
I feel it feels amazing. Actually, I feel. You know, it might be different for other people, but I feel a lot more confident. Like when I walk in rooms, I can have conversations. I love addressing like my wife. Like it feels like professional, like relationship professionalism almost. Like, and I feel like I can enter those crowds in those rooms and be in these conversations where I otherwise wouldn't have been. You know, even on our honeymoon, we went on a Caribbean cruise, and just being married, like I had the confidence just to talk to other couples and mingle with them and learn a bit about them and build even some business connects
that's
amongst
important.
These things. So it's really cool. Otherwise, we're like beforehand, I'd be single or we'd be boyfriend and girlfriend. It's just not the same conversation dynamic. So
I understand that whole concept. Yeah, I really do.
Yeah.
So I'm not married yet.
Yep.
If you're listening, babe, if you're watching, it's gonna happen soon. Don't worry, it's coming. Just, but you know what I'm saying. I get that confidence level. You know, when I have her with me. Yeah. I mean, any other time, you know, I do too. But it's just when I have her with me, you're just like, oh, I can go do this.
Yes.
I can feel a certain type of. More, it's like more than confidence. You know,
it's your person. You got your person with you. The one you going through this life journey.
Like they made you better.
Yes,
but without like depending on them to make you better.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Oh yeah. No, beautiful thing. I wouldn't suggest it to anyone else. I mean, obviously, find the right person. Don't just marry anybody. But yeah.
Yes.
But when you do, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Don't just get married just to get married. You know, you have to make sure.
Cheaper. Like that's dope. All
right. No.
Like there's a lot of ups.
I honestly didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought it should get more expensive.
Yeah. So
okay.
It's a good thing. Yeah.
Oh, talk to me about your cat.
Oh yeah, so my man Soul Cat. We actually found him at Southwest Rides.
Okay.
And it was towards the end of that season, so our programming was just ending. And
just clarify, I asked him about his cat. Yeah, he posted about him, and I was like, "Hey, we could talk about the cat."
Soul Cat. Yeah, maybe we could drop a picture in there. But I found him in Southwest Street Cat. And
those are the best, actually.
Yeah, sort of
too. But I had a street cat for like 15 years. He's all right.
Yeah, he's like
an
an
asshole.
Hater lover, so like Sour Patch Kids sort of deal.
Yes.
But one of our apprentices, he brought an orange cat and a white with like sort of orangish like leopard spots on them. And the kid was like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep this orange one." And can anybody take care of this one? And I didn't say anything for like 5 minutes just to see if any of the kids or anything want to know. I was like, "Ain't nobody saying nothing." And I was like, so I called my now wife on FaceTime. I was like, "Baby," I showed the cat. I was like, "I got you a cat." She almost started crying.
She was that happy or just scared?
She was that happy. She was like, "You got me a cat." I was like, "Yep, it's ours."
Yes.
So, and it's funny, she was doing programming literally like 2 miles down the block, teaching dance and kids, and I was doing the bike stuff. So after her programming, she came over, picked up the cat, took it straight to the vet, which is like a mile up the street.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we got his shots and everything, like immediately. And
what if one of the kids was like, "Where's my cat at? I want it."
Oh yeah. Hey, I would have gave it back. But yeah, super duper sweet, like baby cat. And then it was real feisty, obviously, street cat. But he's doing really good now. He's like a little chunky, super heavy set. He's getting a lot chiller. He used to be like real aggressive. Like, clamping on the arm, all of that. I'm like, okay, bro. So, but he's chill. I grew up with cats, so I love cats. He's definitely my most energetic wild cat I've ever had. Because the ones previously were like really cuddly, super chill. Southwest cats for you.
You said his name's Soul Cat? That's a dope name.
S-O-L. Yeah,
S-O-L. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the sun.
We call him Soul Cat though, yeah. Yep.
So, this is the first season, or the first episode of this second season.
Yeah.
So, in keeping the spirit of twos, since it is season 2, Shane, I'm going to give you a choice of, you're going to pick one of these 2 categories. You're going to share with us 2 embarrassing stories, or embarrassing moments, whatever.
Okay.
Or you're going to share 2 pieces of advice.
Oh. Let's go with the advice.
The advice?
I
Okay.
feel like that's more useful to other people.
You're like, I don't want to tell anybody about these.
You can get my embarrassing stories directly from me. But I'd rather share 2 pieces of advice.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And are there guidelines on the
No,
advice?
absolutely not.
Just shoot it off? I mean, I already kind of said the one, be yourself. But really believe in, if you have a dream, believe in that dream. No matter what it is. It could be the most wildest thing. As long as you believe it, every day when you wake up and you think about that dream, write it down and just read it every day. That dream is going to come into fruition. And I don't even know how to explain. It's like a magic trick. But the more you do that, you're focusing your brain and your subconscious on what that thing is. And you will literally start living and being that dream and becoming that. And you don't have to call it a dream anymore because now you're living it.
Yes.
So that's my first piece of advice. Believe in your dream and believe it to the fullest every single day. Even when people think it's stupid or people are going to laugh at it or it failed on their end, just do that shit for you, man. You know what I mean? And then I guess my next piece of advice is to have fun in everything that you do. Like try to enjoy everything that you do. So even if you're going to work or just waking up, try to make it a fun process. Like what would make it fun for you? You know, for me, I like to turn on some music. I'll dance while I'm getting ready. And for everybody else, it may be different, but have fun in whatever you do. That's definitely a big piece of advice I could give somebody.
Thank you for that. That was beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Shane, what's next for you? What do you got coming up? What do you plan on doing? You know, like that creative mind of yours, that energetic soul, spirit.
I've been cooking up a lot of music actually lately because by September I want to drop my first vinyl album.
Really?
Yeah, so my first record because I've always made music and stuff. Haven't really released it like that either, but I'm changing my ways. I'm like, why am I holding myself back, like, in doing these things? I'm holding on to music that I love and enjoy. Some of my friends love and enjoy because I've shared it with them, but now it's time for me to just really bloom in that because that's what I want to be. I want to be doing big festivals, stadiums, working with bigger artists, creating remixes, creating original music, doing these things. So really just being a big musician, electronic artist, and all these things like jitting, and they're just kind of all engulfed and wrapped in these same things, but really being a bigger artist and pushing myself forward that way.
I like that. You let me know when that drops.
Oh yeah.
I'm grabbing that.
September.
I'm grabbing that record.
Yep.
I love the fact that vinyl's coming back.
Oh yeah.
So many people getting it. Like I saw Sheefy's got a new vinyl record out. A couple other like rock artists. They're like, oh, we're gonna go get our album pressed on vinyl. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
What's the process of going through that?
So there's a few different processes. There's obviously outsourced companies. That's the easiest way to get it done. So you just send your music and your tracks in a format, essentially overseas the UK, because they get it done the fastest. But here in Detroit, there are local presses, and that's probably the route I'm going to go because I want to support local. Get our names used to each other, and so people will know like you can get your stuff pressed here, and you don't have to wait maybe too long. So it's really getting the songs out to them, and they create like a master disc, and within that master disc they can make duplications of the actual vinyl from there. But it's really just getting that one masterpiece, and literally masterpiece, that's funny. that one that you keep making copies of, and then that's really where it's at. I don't know the super duper in detailness about like how they pour the vinyl and how it presses out and stuff like I've seen it, but that's essentially the process.
That's one of those like ASMR videos.
Yeah. Super cool, like the how it's done videos.
Yeah.
It's like a Ford motor, but for audio. Yeah, really cool.
So, is there anything else that you got coming up? Any events that you're going to be performing at, either if it's dance or DJ?
Yeah, I got a lot actually. So next week I'm hosting.
To break out the schedule.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I can kind of remember like my next 2 months. But next week I'm hosting a Juneteenth jam in Grand Rapids. It's a breaking jam.
Okay.
$1,000 prize. Cost no money to get in, so very good chances on getting that money. And then second prize is $500. And then the week after that, I'm actually going to Indiana to DJ a kids youth breaking jam. So I'll be DJing hip hop breaks for them and stuff like that. And after that, we have some more JIT performances downtown through the Spirit of Detroit. That's some kind of low key stuff coming up. But yeah, a lot of dance and DJ performances coming up.
So on the show, I'd like to highlight all these amazing people in and around the city.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you would like to see on the show that you would say, hey, this person deserves that highlight?
Yeah. My man, Jit Master Mike. That's the guy that teaches me jitting. Yeah, and he started the school. So essentially like the Mav of the jit school of that world.
Okay.
Yeah, so he definitely has a lot of game to share.
Some big praise?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anybody else, you think?
Let's see, my man, Strings. He's also a jitter. Trying to broaden out the different communities. Let me see.
Yeah.
Because
I think that's good. It's like, hey, I appreciate this person who's leading this side of this.
Because these are like essentially like OGs to me, like people that I can learn from.
Yes.
Let's see who else was. Those are the two that really come to my mind right now.
That's fine.
I feel like you've interviewed other people that I would put out there. Yeah.
Hey, if you got any more suggestions, email me.
Yeah, definitely, I will. For sure.
And to our listeners and people who are watching, if you have any people that you think that deserve to be here and would love to share their story, you'd love to hear their story, email me at motorcitycrownspod@gmail.com or find me on Instagram at motorcitycrowns and DM me anybody that you think would be good.
Yeah.
So, where can the people find you on social media?
Oh, okay. So on Instagram, everywhere really, you can find me at Shane Trees. So Instagram at Shane Trees. On my website, shanetrees.com. Same on Facebook, Shane Trees. So it's all relative everywhere. YouTube, SoundCloud, all these things. Same name. Real easy.
Awesome. Yes. So go ahead, check out Shane on IG, Facebook, wherever.
So.
Thank you, Shane, for being on the show. I want to thank you taking the time out, coming over here, sharing your story, and from music to dancing to biking, teaching, DJing. You really earned your crown here today.
Appreciate it, man. Oh man, that's love, bro. Hey, that's the dopest way to go out. I love that. I like that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm your host, Robert Solano Sanchez. Don't forget to shop small, support local artists, and check out Shane at an event sometime soon.
Oh yeah, please.
This is the MotorCity Crowns Podcast, where passion reigns and excellence is crowned.
I like that. Yeah.
Thank you. I will see you next time.
Peace.